Something that both learner and experienced drivers can occasionally have trouble with is knowing what they should do if they are approaching a junction and there are pedestrians waiting to cross. For a long time now, drivers have been encouraged to give way to pedestrians who are crossing the end of a road where it meets another road, forming a junction. More recently, in 2022, the Highway Code made some minor changes to the way it set out this rule. In some media outlets, this was reported as a major change to the rules, when in actual fact, the rule was first introduced in 1959 and has been in every version of the Highway Code since then. Over the years, it has been slightly rephrased, and in 2022 it was included in a set of rules known as the hierarchy rules. In this video, we will try to help you understand this rule and show you how to apply it in everyday driving scenarios. If you find this video useful, please let us know in the comments and give us a like. We want to make videos that are useful to as many learners and new drivers as possible, so please let us know if there are other topics that you would like us to cover in future videos. Imagine that you are driving this car. As you approach the end of the road, you notice pedestrians waiting to cross. What are you going to do? Before deciding, let's look at what the Highway Code actually says.
Rule 170 asks us to take extra care at junctions. It goes on to say you should give way to pedestrians crossing, or waiting to cross a road into which or from which you are turning. If they have started to cross, they have priority, so give way. It then suggests we see Hierarchy Rule H2. Rule H2 simply reiterates Rule 170, although it is more clear here that it should also be applied by other road users and not just drivers. So if there are pedestrians waiting to cross as you drive towards a give way or stop junction, you should slow down or stop, and give them time to cross if they want to. They may need to wait for other vehicles to pass from the main road, as in this clip. Be aware of vehicles following you, as they may not fully understand your intentions. If you slow down gently, and in good time, the vehicles behind you will have plenty of time to assess the situation and react appropriately. Remember, the pedestrians may not want to cross and might prefer to wait for you to pass first. If this is the case, proceed with caution, and be prepared to stop if the pedestrians start to cross.
Let's go back and see that again. This time, consider the driver entering the road from our right. Did they apply the rule correctly, and should they have done anything differently once they had seen the pedestrians waiting to cross?
The same rules apply to vehicles entering the road. The dark grey car should slow down gently and be prepared to wait where it is now. By leaving its left indicator on, other road users can easily understand what it intends to do. It would now be obvious to the pedestrians that it is safe to cross, but remember, the final decision is theirs, and if they don't make any attempt to cross, vehicles should proceed slowly and with caution, so that they can stop if the pedestrians do step out. Drivers should not wave or otherwise signal for the pedestrians to go, as this can cause confusion, or could even make the pedestrian feel pressured or rushed, leading to potential danger.
What could have happened if we had waved for the pedestrians to cross here? Might they have taken our waving as a signal that it was safe to go?
In this next clip, we find ourselves behind a white car that wants to turn right into a side road as a pedestrian approaches it along the footpath. Applying the Highway Code rules from the previous clip, what would you expect the white car to do?
We know that the white car should be prepared to give way to the pedestrian if they want to cross the road at the junction. In simple terms, this means that if the car and the pedestrian are both at the junction at the same time, the pedestrian should be given the choice to go first if they want to. From our position, it is not easy to tell if the pedestrian has reached the junction at the same time as the car. But as we run the clip on, it becomes clear that the car completed the turn before the pedestrian reached the junction, and so followed the rules and completed the turn correctly.
We know that the white car safely and correctly turned, But now we want to turn right ourselves and we've reached the junction before the pedestrian has crossed. What would you do now?
We are now required to give the pedestrian the option to cross if they want to. We should wait on the correct side of the road that we are on, with our right indicator flashing, so that everyone knows what we intend to do. We must not beckon the pedestrian to go, but we can make eye contact so that they know that we have seen them. You may also notice from this clip that in waiting for the pedestrian, we also have to wait for an approaching vehicle that we might otherwise not have needed to wait for. This was the only safe option we had.
In this clip, we have a slightly more unusual situation. The pedestrians in this case are waiting to cross the main road. They are not attempting to cross the mouth of the junction. Who do you think has priority in this situation? As the driver of the camera car, what would you decide to do?
We already know that rules H2 and 170 in the Highway Code say that we should give way at a junction to pedestrians who are waiting to cross a road that we are turning into. It doesn't specify which road they are crossing, only that we are going into, or out of the junction. If we follow the rule correctly, we give priority to the pedestrians. In this clip though, priorities are largely irrelevant. We can't be sure that all of the pedestrians look back towards our car, so it's possible that they haven't even realized that we are there. To try and drive past them would be extremely risky. The only safe option is to wait patiently until it is safe to approach the junction.
Let's now look at a different situation, where a pedestrian is waiting to cross the road at the exit from a roundabout. What would you do if you were the driver of the camera car?
If we look at the Highway Code rules for roundabouts, we can see that Rule 187 says, "In all cases watch out for and give plenty of room to pedestrians who may be crossing the approach and exit roads." Unlike at T-junctions, it does not say that we should give way to them. The rules are different because there is more to consider in this situation than at a T-junction, where drivers are naturally slowing down. The traffic here is usually flowing freely, and drivers are preparing to accelerate away from the roundabout into the new road. The drivers behind you are often checking mirrors and concentrating on getting on and off the roundabout safely. It is unlikely that they would expect you to stop as you exit. In this clip, we have taken a good position and used our indicators in good time to clearly signal where we intend to go. The pedestrian has looked at us and is aware of our intention. They have a safe refuge, where they can wait, and they are clearly prepared to do so. If they had dangerously stepped out into the road, we would have to let them cross, but in this case it would have created unnecessary risk to slow down or stop.
We can now go back to the start of the clip and look at it in real time. Take notice of the black car that is approaching to join the roundabout from our left. It pulls out behind us and accelerates to follow us into the new road. Do you think that they have noticed the pedestrian and would be prepared if we stopped? What could happen if we slow down or stop with this car behind us? Sometimes it is not always obvious whether pedestrians are crossing the road at a junction or just close to it. In the next couple of clips, we will be approaching a common crossing point where both pedestrians and drivers sometimes struggle to understand who actually has priority. We will look at road signs and markings to help us understand if it is a junction, and then we will explain how to proceed in a way that is safe for everyone. Here we can see a pedestrian crossing the road ahead of us. We can also see a car turning away from us and a road moving off to our right. The pedestrian is clearly crossing in the vicinity of a junction, but where exactly is it, and are we going to be turning either into or out of it? In order to work this out, let's take the video back, so that we can look for signs as we approach.
If we look at the road layout depicted in this sign, we can see a thick black line which bends sharply to the right, and a thinner line going ahead at a slight angle. The thick line in these signs shows the major road, which has priority, and the thinner line shows the side road. The junction is between the two roads. Now we can see the road markings between the major road and the side road, and it is clear that the pedestrian is not crossing at a junction, and so, as long as it is safe, we have priority. In this case, it is safe to continue because we have approached slowly to give us time to fully assess the situation, and we could stop if we needed to. The pedestrian has looked at us on 2 occasions and is aware of us. And, importantly, they have a refuge which is wide enough for them to safely wait, and it is clear from their body language that they are prepared to stay in that refuge until we have passed. If there was no refuge, we would have to stop or slow down to allow them to finish crossing, just as the white van does with the pedestrians who are crossing as we exit the bend.
In this clip, we are approaching the same bend as we have just seen, only this time from the opposite direction. Take a look while we explain why we've decided to stop for the pedestrians this time. Do you think you would have done the same? Let us know in the comments if you think it would have been safe to continue.
Once again on this sign we can see the thick line depicting the major road through the bend, so we know that the pedestrians don't have any automatic priority to cross. As we approach, we slow down to give ourselves enough time to assess the situation. At this point, one of the pedestrians makes a small movement forward. Their body language is very different to that from the previous clip, and it feels that they may step out. The safest thing to do here was to stop and let them go. The others are naturally going to follow, so we wait patiently for a few seconds until it is safe to move.
Thank you for watching, and we really hope that you have found this useful. Remember to subscribe if you want to be notified of new videos. If you are learning to drive in Tamworth, check the About info in the description for links to LDC driving schools operating in the area. We have automatic and manual instructors. LDC have hundreds of local driving schools across the country, so if you are not in Tamworth and you want to find an LDC driving school near you, or to inquire about becoming a driving instructor yourself, follow the link to the main website.